Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. We are honored to have Taja Clarke here joining us. It's been a while and excited to get to see her live in person here on Zoom today. How's everything?
It's going really well.
I know, a hot day, right? You're a local. Where are you located? Tell everyone.
The Bronx. It is really hot.
I know. Well, we're excited you're back, and we're going to talk today more about Down and Out Consulting, which, of course, she's the owner of, based out of the Bronx here in New York. So tell us a little bit about the work that you do.
Yeah, so the work that I do essentially is to help empower people to get to their better lives. Essentially, I have a lot of clients who come to me and they're in a place where they feel stuck, they feel down and out, and they're not sure where to go or what to do. So my job essentially is to help guide them through their gaps to get to that end result. So it could be as simple as having a conversation about how do we get this done? It could be a matter of why do you feel this way and how do we work around those feelings so we could then be more successful in our attempts. But it's a matter of just working through what's brought to me and getting them to a more elevated position.
All right. Before we talk more forward about the coaching, the mentoring you do, and personal development, let's back up. Where are you from? How did you get into this field and career? Give us a little of that background, please.
Yeah, so I'm from New York City. I've been here most of my life. I came into the concept of Down and Out when I was going through a very tough time. It was during COVID. I remember I just got my associates. I was still finished up my last semester for my associates. I just got my first salary job and I worked at an insurance company. And I was so proud because I had my first salary job before I graduated. I had the experience and I just felt like I was just doing all these things. And then COVID happened and I was affected by layoffs because I was the most recently hired joiner. So the last one was the first one's out. I was in this position where I wasn't sure what to do, what my next steps were. I was down and out. I had an emergency fund that lasted about a couple months, just enough to get me to my next position, but I didn't like being in a position of not knowing what was next, what to plan for and how to move forward. That's where the whole concept of the company came of how to get from being down and out to just elevate and just going.
Beautiful. And here you are. What maybe a lot of you are feeling down and out, right? And there's a lot to try to navigate, figure out, but it's not always easy when you're in this position of being down and out, right? So let's talk a little about some of the things that people are going through and, how you can help change them and turn their lives around. Because that's basically, what you're doing. You're really helping to support them and to make better choices and better changes.
Yeah. So my goal essentially is just to spread some encouragement. I feel like the world can be a very heavy place a lot of the time. So I want to be that light that helps someone find where they're trying to go. So my goal is always to make things a little better. For some clients, we have certain plans for them. So each client is different. Some people have more of a hand-holding technique. They want to be more, protected. They want to be walked through the whole process hand in hand. Some clients are more independent. So for one specific client, the way that I've been working through it is to kind of help her through her emotions. She's very neurotic sometimes. Who gets in her head kind of like me whenever something new is there. She's not sure what to expect, how it could affect her. She's only the negative. And I'm like, no, let's assume the positive. Let's assume things work out the way it's supposed to end. What would that look like? And how do we get there? How do we plan for it? If it's not A, it's B. How do we make the plans? And when we do map out the fears and the growths and the aspirations, it helps her to realize that it's all just essentially in your head. A lot of the stuff that she assumes will happen usually never does. She worries just for the sake of learning. So we've been working on that technique for her to be very helpful. She's a lot more realistic now, not even more than just, it's all going to mess up. It's going to just fail. And I'm like, no, let's not do that.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's what I want to ask you. How is your coaching process different than most? What would you share that is most unique about you? And then, yes, I'd love to hear more of the stories about you helping people, really.
Well, I think for me, the thing that makes me stand out is the fact that I'm very relatable. A lot of folks I've noticed, they seem well put together. They have this view and appeal of how they have it all figured out. And I'm very honest. I'm still figuring out myself. I'm not too ashamed to share my own experiences to help you relate and understand that I've been through something similar. I think a lot of coaches like to just be the finished product, and that's fair too, but it also makes you a bit different because now you're not as relatable to your clients because you've been through it. But if you're actually still going through it and you can still relate and understand what they're going through, it has more of a sound and effect, in my opinion. And I do have the initial free discovery call where we just kind of get to know each other. And if that's where we start and end, that's fine as well. As long as I know that we spoke and I got to help you and got to know you, that's also satisfying for me as well. But that being actually, that's the main thing, just me being more relatable and just me having that free initial discovery call with clients. So.
Well, let me ask, because you are here giving people professional support with your personal coaching. Let's talk in more detail about the types of things you can help people with, if you don't mind. And I'm sure it's an array of things, as you mentioned, one of your clients already. But let's hear some more examples, if you don't mind, or just, if you could share some testimonials. It's always great to hear what people are doing, and walk us through the process of how people can get through by you being there for them, holding their hand in a sense, and having these types of sessions to talk, to vent, to plan, to change.
Yeah, so I specialize in a few things. Well, I wouldn't say I have experience in a few. So the main one is like family dynamic. There's also starting out when you have your first place, getting sorted with being an adult, having your first credit card, things like that. Help people with their finances. I'm very versed in like investing and making your starting fund, getting your finances together and budgeting. So I help them with whatever problems they come with. I don't do relationship advice just because it's a bit versatile. Like if needed, I can get into it if it's something that pops up in one of our sessions, but my main focuses are self-development, finances, and re-education.
And let me ask, you being a coach and, how this works, is it really that it takes a certain amount of time to change a behavior in a sense, no matter what it is? Is there a certain amount of time that people do get to work with you? Is it based on time? Is it individualized?
It's individualized. There's some people who they come to me and they have it all sorted out. They know exactly what they want to do, how they want to do it, but they have a little hint of fear in their plans. I give them my motivational talk of what's the worst that can happen, what's the best that can happen, what's more realistic, and we make the plan to get there. Some people they just have the thought of maybe I should change about this. And if they're early on in the process, they take a little bit more time. And there's some people who just give them exactly what to do and they'll follow it and they'll check in every few months or so because they basically have it figured out. It's one little bit of direction, but it's individualized. But the most common one I've seen so far, they have the plans already. They just want a little push to get there. When things get tough, a little encouragement to keep going forward.
Beautiful. All right. So what else did you want to share for today about yourself, about the company, about the type of work that you're able to do and help people get through so much?
Well, this is our final episode for the series right now, which is just a little bit bittersweet.
Oh my gosh, it's been a long time, right? Taja, when did we first meet?
I believe end of last year.
It was 24.
But I wanted
Wow.
to like a bit of reflection of like what I've learned so far,
Sure.
what's affected me, like how my biggest thing so far is going out of my comfort zone, which is very uncomfortable as it's defined. But I think that coming out of a lot of situations, I've grown like tremendously. Like I've learned how to speak a lot better to people. I've learned how to be more relatable. I've learned how to be more vulnerable and just not be a token of being strong all the time. I've learned to be more vulnerable and open. And I think that's a result of coming out of my comfort zone and challenging what I know. Because a lot of the stuff that you know and that you're stuck with is what you put up to make yourself feel safe. And sometimes those help you to protect, and sometimes it blocks you from growing beyond that and being a different person. Because it worked for you when you were at a certain point in your life, but you've grown from that. And you can push those walls. It's a lot wider. You can have boundaries that are a lot higher and you can reach it and still feel comfortable. It's just a matter of adjusting your comfort zones as you grow and not stay within the same confines your whole life because you're a different person at every point in your life.
Yeah.
So that's who you are and who you are.
Yeah. So it's amazing to hear that even the coach has learned something, right? Like we all are growing, we all can grow. And with anything, it's just fascinating, right? Because there's always room for improvement. Would you say there's a lot of people out there still dealing with a lot of this anxiety and stress? I find that was on the news the other day that I think since the pandemic in 2020, that anxiety has been reported up by 34%. I just heard that. I don't know if that's a fact, but that's what was on the news. And that's taken a toll on so many people's lives, family lives, relationships, work, and so much.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. I think anxiety is one of the biggest things out there. A lot of it is just some things that we've seen in the news, some things that we've seen online, and we think that our lives should be a certain way, or we should be further along, or we should have this and that and that. And it's all about the shoulds. And that's where you lose your biggest motivation. It's all about where you are and where you want to be, not where you think you're supposed to be based on someone else's standards for you.
Yeah.
But the biggest sensation of anxiety, a gap in who the person is and who they think they should be or where they think they should be. That gap is what creates the anxiety because they're not sure if they can ever get to that point or if they even want it in the first place to get there. It's a lot of gaps in it, but it's a matter of just being more realistic and honest about who you are and what you want because you might not want to have that big family home. You might want to just be someone who's an entrepreneur who loves work. That might be something that fits you better, or someone who just wants an apartment versus a house. But a lot of it is based on society standards, not someone's own standards for themselves.
Yeah. Ah. Well, I find like summer's here. I feel a little less stressed out. I think summer's a slower month for, I don't know, people in general. You tell me, are people coming to you as a coach? Are they even talking weight loss? And do you do that as well? Or?
I generally give advice. I've lost a few pounds myself, but I tend to specialize in just what they want. So like it's mainly career focused, finances, and self improvement, and that can be anything from wanting to go to therapy, trying to break the stigma against going to therapy, and why it's okay to say that you're not okay sometimes. It could be
Yeah.
going to the gyms. I'm like, well, if you want to go to the gym, you can try this. You can go outside for a little bit. You can walk and see how you feel, like little bridging steps to get them to that point where they're okay doing it themselves. But that's
Wow.
something that I do notice a lot more of my clients come during the winter time, which I assume is tied to being inside because it's too cold to go outside. There's a lot less sunlight. It's a lot more routine, but a lot less fun. But it is more common in the winter where I have more anxiety-based clients. And then the summertime is always, I'm going to get the summer bod, but I'm like, the body in the summer is whichever body you bring into the season.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? I find that, as you mentioned, feeling better about yourself, that also, it comes down the line for advancement in career, making more money. It's just a type of spark that, you can light and it can just ignite so much in a sense. And speaking of career, could you share a little bit about the type of career coaching you do in particular? Is it getting people into the career they want to change careers or, give us some details and some strategies about, why are people not going where they're supposed to be going? What's holding us back?
A lot of the times it's the family. I know for me, a big part of my career trajectory was my family because I was the black sheep that made it to college and had the corporate job. So I was the one who, my success and my financial success played a part in my family's stability.
And could you just
So,
share with them what you did, if you don't mind, if they're new to the show?
so yeah, I'm the first generation of my family to go to college and get a degree, 2 degrees, and then go to work corporate. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of the time when I am thinking about switching my career, I think about how it affects my family because I provide financially in some ways to help them in their situations. So I can't just go to a job that maybe has a lesser salary, even though I might be a little bit happier because it also affects them. But I also can't stay with a job that has a high salary because it affects my mental health completely. So I find that middle gap. So there are dependencies like that where they support their families or they have their own families and they have kids that depend on them to pay for tuition or pay for school or daycare. And they have to do a bit of a sacrifice to get to the next step until the kids are more grown up and can start taking care of themselves a bit.
Got it. Oh, beautiful story. And by the way, how are they now? Are they supportive of this? Do they love that you're also doing this side of it now, the coaching?
They brag all the time. Yeah.
See, they're all so proud. I love it. I love it. I love it. And now, full time, are you still doing this full time or you still have your other job as well, right?
Yeah, I still have I'm doing two full times. I'm doing the entrepreneurial, the life coaching. I'm also doing my full time in cybersecurity. So I'm all over the place right now.
But see, you got to make sacrifices for your family. If you remember, I told you the same thing. I was the first in my family to go to college too. I get it. There's a lot riding on that. And I do help my family as well financially and everywhere I can. Like I just did a little vacation this weekend to New Jersey for 4 days and I took care of my sister and her kids who couldn't afford to do something like that. But I get it. You have a lot of responsibility. And once and then when you lose that, like I did a few years ago, that was even difficult because then you don't want to let anyone else down, but it also makes you work that much harder to keep going, not just for yourself, but for your family and all those others that you can help. But, during the pandemic, I think most people were down and out. A lot of people lost jobs and a lot have recovered, but still, I'm sure there's people out there who still have not gotten back on their feet fully.
It's a very tough time. It's very intense.
And to change a career, it can't be easy. Fully changing a career, it's so scary, heartbreaking, time-consuming, losing money. It's like, but people have so many other talents, and I really hope that most people did discover that. Like we're not just married to our job. We're more than our job. We could be so much more, but it's a hard society where people judge you by your career, what you do, and it's your, your status in a sense, right? And then to have to change and do something or start up a business by yourself takes a lot of patience, dedication, and you got to be brave. That's not easy.
It really is, yeah. So for a lot of people who want to switch careers and they have a lot of dependencies on them, I suggest doing there's some courses that colleges give for free about certain focus. If you want to go in cybersecurity, if you want to go in nursing, you can take a course to kind of see how you feel. Do you like the material? Does it feel related? Before you make that big gap, kind of experiment with it. There's also certs you can look into. So even though you transfer and you have no experience, you have that certification that gives you some knowledge and you have a bit of a bargaining chip going into that. But things like that to make it transition, so you don't just I'm going to quit and then I'm going to apply to job. We'd rather you have something before you do that, so you have money coming in there in that time. But yeah.
Well, what are some tips that you can give us on bettering ourselves in any way that, you're helping your clients? Any tips and tricks? I mean, to anyone that you're dealing with, because you're talking about changing different patterns, behaviors, which relates, whether it's for career, whether it's for family, are there some commonalities that maybe you can share and we can just get some advice on?
Yeah, I think the biggest one, which is a bit concerning for me, is a lot of people don't know themselves relatively well. They've been working on this autopilot of what they should be, and at some point their goals was someone else's ideas. It might have been a parent who mentioned, I want you to be a doctor, and they just did it, and then when they become a doctor, they have no fulfillment because they didn't consider that they wanted.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing I always say is the first kind of just sit still and just listen. Be by yourself, have no phones, and just listen to what your body's telling you. Reflect on how you feel, what's bothering you. And that's kind of how you start to feel okay, I don't like how I felt here. Was it you didn't want to commute to work? Was it that you didn't like the work? Is it the person there that's making you feel that way? You kind of get the answers of what's bothering you. What's your concern? How do you feel? Do you feel excited when you go to work? Do you feel dreadful? And why do you feel that way? Is it a financing that we can work on making your finances better? But it starts with going within and finding out what's bothering you, and then we can make plans to make it better. But you have to know exactly what's bothering you, then get to that point. And that's the initial one. Just stay still for a moment and just listen. What's your body telling you? Are you anxious? Are you, with this time alone, do you feel overjoyed? Are you overstimulated? Is it things like that? And then you just work forward from there.
Got it. What other goals are you helping people reach and achieve? And, we still have some more time together, and if this is our last show, as you said, I mean, what did you want to share? I shouldn't talk. You tell me what else is important to you to let people know about you.
That's fine. So some clients I'm working with, the main thing is one person had a sense of doubt. She's the one that she's now going to school to be a trauma doctor, that is really big. That is very intense. I can't handle trauma 24/7, especially to specialize in that. But she's doing it. She's going to school. She's getting her grades, and she's very passionate about it. And she had that big, what if I can't get it done? And I'm like, no, just do it. In spite of that, just move forward. And then she fought her traction, and now she's doing it as if it was her dream. And I'm like, yes, it is yours. Own it. And that's a beautiful thing to see. I had another client who struggled with imposter syndrome, where I think he was the first in his family to go to corporate as well. He didn't go to college. He skipped it and went through a vocational program, and now he's working corporate. So he feels a sense of he didn't earn his spot because he didn't have a degree. And I'm like, you definitely did. You went through the program and they hired you and converted you. That means you did well enough to work alongside your peers.
Damn right.
So he's a lot more confident. He's not training people. I'm like, yes, that's how it should be. You made it here. Despite your story, you can work at a mattress firm. You can be working in car. You made it here on your own merits.
Mm-hmm.
Proud of that. That makes you who you are. You're unique. And that's a beautiful thing that I'm seeing. It's just amazing.
A lot of people don't self-reward, loathe self, but every now and then you got to pat yourself on the back, right? And give credit where credit's due, because, it's the baby steps that get us to where we go. But we need to be proud and boast a little about those achievements, because, and to have someone to pat your back and tell you, wow, it can only help, right?
It definitely does. And it's really helpful that a lot of my clients try to credit me for their progress, and I'm like, no, we're not doing that. I helped to push you, but you did the work. You went in the room, you owned it, you made it yours, and that was all you. All I did was give you a little speech, literally. That's all I did. The rest is you. Be like, no, it's you. And I'm like, no, it literally is you. And we have to make it a whole session, so you need to celebrate you and be proud of who you are, because you got yourself to exactly where you are and beyond. You're the tomorrow. It's all you. But it's just a beautiful thing when you're at that momentum and they just start doing it on their own. And I'm like, you don't even need me anymore, but you could just stop it right here. It's so.
Yeah. Do you believe in any type of meditation for the day? Any tips for us waking up each day to live a better life, to get the day started right?
Well, what I've been doing recently, because I've been struggling to feel a sense of fulfillment whenever I have like really busy work days, when I wake up, I don't touch my phone for the first 30 minutes. I kind of get back to myself, whether it's laying in bed for extra 30 minutes and just kind of breathing and staying still, whether it's working out, taking a shower, doing my hair, something that makes me feel good. And that I think has been boosting my days and my mental health throughout it. And then when I do have extra time, when it's a slow day, I'll go take a walk, or I'm very into self-care. So I'll wash my hair, or I'll do my nails, or I'll just pick a nice outfit on it just because it's my outfit. But things like that, I think, helps to minimize the problems and just build your mental strength up. That's very helpful.
Oh my goodness. Well, last, words of wisdom and advice for everyone about, down and out turning you into up and in. All right. What is our goal here? Down and out to up and in. I guess I'm trying to think of the opposite of the terminology of down and out. Up and Adam, I should say, consulting, because you're getting up, you're getting better, right?
Yeah. So my goal is just to empower people to live the better lives themselves, to give you the option to feel empowered to make a choice and make a decision. Because I can help you to decide, but I want you to feel that you own the decision, that you can get it done, so you have the momentum around it as well. But my goal is to just empower people to live better lives, essentially. Better by their definitions of how they want it to be. So for some people, it could be going from a house to an apartment, or from a luxury car to a regular car. So better is how they define it for themselves.
And less sometimes is more. But that's up to everyone. Yes. All right. So again, go say hello, reach out to the founder of Down and Out Consulting. Taja Clarke is her name. Taja, how can we reach you, seek you, contact you for a consultation?
So you can reach me on Instagram and consult_anonymous. Mm-hmm. You can also find me on Facebook, the same page name, Down and Out Consulting. It's the same page, but that's the name on Instagram, the short name. You can also reach me via email at downandoutinfo@gmail.com. I'm pretty responsive, but yeah.
Yay! Any plans for the summer? Anything fun going on, or it's all work, no play?
To sleep, and I want to plan a trip to go to Virginia and just relax and just celebrate and just getting older and just living life.
Beautiful. Do you have family down there, friends, or just?
Friends, yeah.
And I know one of your quotes, hold on, we said it a while ago, you don't accept the life you are told to have, create the one you want, right?
Yeah.
And you live from experience with that. I can say I live from experience with that quote as well, because I see people like my brother who is down and out. He never, he's been settling for years and he never really tries to get out of his life, and he wants more, but he doesn't know how to do it. He's always messing up and he doesn't know how to create. And a lot of people don't. And that's why people need some help and guidance. And it's okay to reach out, to ask for help. And, if you clearly have been failing, it's time to try something different. So reach out to our friend Taja. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Great having you, and best of luck. And hopefully we'll connect again. Okay. We'll say till next time.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Let's go inside the mind of a 10-year-old.
I should have worn those earrings today. I like those earrings. Gabby has those awesome earrings. I need to ask her where she got those, but that's just what she would want me to do. I'll have Michaela ask her for me.
Buckle up, Sarah.
Yeah, but then Michaela will be like, why don't you just ask her yourself? That's just like Michaela.
Sarah, buckle up.
Michaela's such a great name. I wish I was called Michaela. There's like a dozen Sarahs in my class.
Hey, we're not hitting the road until you buckle up, honey.
Oh yeah, seatbelt. I forget sometimes because my brain is like busy, I wonder if there's pizza at school today.
Sometimes it can be tough to get through to your kids, but it's not impossible. Always make sure they're wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Remember, you have the keys, you have the power. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.